practice and heading to your first game, man?
Felt great. Felt like I had a pretty good practice. I was able to play with a second unit and someone with the first unit. I think it went pretty good. Felt like the glove.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think about joining this organization, especially with the strength they've been on and the potential of this team?
I think the potential of this team is definitely a championship caliber. Obviously, we have a lot to work on, to get to that space. But I think it's a grind each and every day. I haven't played a game yet, so we still got to play some games before we can start talking about some of the other things. But so far, the organization has been great. Everybody's very communicative, and the one thing about it I've seen that everybody's done so far is guys are working, guys are communicating, guys are talking. It's a fun group.
When you look at this roster and you look at your strengths, and where do you see yourself fitting in well for their puzzle?
Some at 4 and then small ball 5. When you're trying to beat certain teams down the stretch, sometimes you have to go with those smaller lineups. But I think with having me it brings a different dynamic to the team with my skill set, being able to kind of play off the doubles, get into the middle of the lane, make certain reads for kickouts to guys, or being able to get my float off in the middle of the lane, and then defensive versatility. I think that's one of the biggest things too. I can guard 1 through 5, and then it makes us a more switchable team with size and depth.
Thaddeus, you've been on championship teams. When you look at this group, what do you see in that regard?
Same thing, championship team. We got the big 3, and then we have a bunch of talented guys coming off the bench. We have another vet in EG, and Royce is fit like a glove so far. And then we have Grayson, who's been shooting the cover off the basketball. And we have some other guys that's really, really talented that can go out there and play basketball, young guys. But that's what I'm here for, to help the young guys along the way while watching the starters start the games off and do certain things. But just bringing them along, because down this stretch, it's going to be times where you see a bunch of guys and a bunch of games, and guys are going to be wide open. And we're going to need that common voice on the bench.
Curious, one of the other thing I wanted to ask you was, obviously, teams were interested in you. So what was it about Phoenix that made you say this is the place you need to go?
Just like I said, the dynamic of what they have, and the skill set that I bring to the table, it just fits. Those guys needed a small ball 5 that can play in the pocket, still be able to score the ball, still be efficient, and then be versatile on the defensive side of the basketball.
Not just Phoenix's play, but how familiar were you with your new teammates?
How familiar?
Yes.
Very familiar. I've been in the league 17 years.
I know.
So I've been knowing these guys for such a long time. Me and KD go way back to high school. We were McDonald's All-Americans together, Jordan Game MVPs together. So, we've been knowing each other for 20 plus years. So just having that connection, and then just being on the team with some of these guys and watching some of these guys play through AAU and stuff like that, the connection is always there.
How do you feel that connection will translate on the court?
I think it's going to be great. I'm not one of those guys that's going to be coming in overbearing. I'm a guy that's going to try to fit in as much as possible and do whatever the team needs me to do. So I think the connection will be fine.
And what are your thoughts on the Mavericks as a matchup in your first game with the Suns?
It's tough. I think they made a really, really good trade. Nico and them has done a great job of restructuring this team and building this team. But I think they made a really good trade in getting Daniel Gafford. I'm a big fan of his. I played in Chicago with him. And then P.J. Washington. I think that was huge for them as well. It gives them a different dynamic at that 4 spot. But they're a tough team. Obviously, they have Luka and some other guys, and Kyrie as well. They're just a tough team to play, and you just got to make sure that you contain the main guys and then make all of the guys beat you.